WWE Draft has concluded. Raw Women's Champion drafted to SmackDown, SmackDown Women's Champion drafted to Raw. And there are no tag teams left. Also, Jade Cargill continues her winning streak, defeating both Thunder Rosa and Nyla Rose, and Mickie and Diana got in one of the best roles we've seen in years? Welcome everyone to Ring the Bell, this is DS, and this is Women's Wrestling Weekly Recap, where we recap mostly everything that happened in women's wrestling world. And this week, obviously, WWE Draft is the talk of the town, so let's get right into it. Let's look into the new roster after the draft. So on Raw, we've got Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, Nikki ASH, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, Zelina Vega, Doudrop, Tamina, Tegan Nox, Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, Mia Yim, and Dana Brooke. Obviously, what stands out is SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch. Will she swap the title with Charlotte Flair, or will she lose the title to Saudi Arabia? And then in that case, really, Sasha Banks can win this. Bianca being on Raw is also interesting because Bianca was doing so well on SmackDown. And you know, Raw is always a brand that so many things are happening. So Raw better treat Bianca well. I really hope she doesn't lose to Rhea. That's a big concern I always have. PTSD I have from the NXT days. Nikki and Rhea, the tag champions, are here, but there's no tag teams left. Tegan Nox is now split with Shotzi. Tamina is also separate from Natalya, so two of those teams are now done. So I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with the tag team title. Carmella, Zelina, and Liv Morgan, all three women from SmackDown, ended up in Raw. I don't know what that means. I thought they were having at least they were having some time to shine, some occasional time to shine in SmackDown. I don't know if that's possible on Raw. And unlike the rumor that's been going around for months, Mia Yim ends up on Raw. It's a stacked roster, so I'm again worried for Mia Yim. Where does she stand here? On the SmackDown side, we have Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Naomi, Toni Storm, Xia Li, Aaliyah, Natalya, B-Fab, and Shotzi. This is an interesting roster. We haven't seen Sasha Banks with Charlotte Flair in a while. We remember that whole year we just had back and forth with Sasha and Charlotte. But given that both of them are heel now, I'm kind of curious how their interaction is going to be on SmackDown starting now. Shayna Baszler on SmackDown, really good choice that is very fresh. And I think she's one of the women that was able to still stand out on Raw because she's such a unique character. But on SmackDown, I think she'll have a really good time rising back on top. So I'm very excited for Shayna. I'm glad Naomi's still on SmackDown so she can continue the whole storyline with Sonya Deville and maybe potentially join the Bloodline. If not, she can still have some time because there's not that much people on this roster. Xia Li getting called up on TV. She's a freaking legend. Even though her match with Raquel didn't really wow anyone. Same for Aaliyah. I think SmackDown just in general has been a better brand for newer talent, so Aaliyah, hope she can flourish here. Obviously, B-Fab coming to SmackDown with Hit Row was a big shocker given that she is very much green, and Shotzi's going solo, and we all know Shotzi has so much spunk. I'm actually curious how Toni and Shotzi is gonna go together because they, at least in my mind, they both have kind of like that cool factor. Hopefully their character don't overlap too much. And then Natty being there along with a lot of the newcomers to main roster would be a lot of help for them. So sad to see Natty split from Tamina because I think they had a lot they could have done, but they had no chance to do any of that. So, and then on the free agent side, we got Eva Marie, who I don't know why she was not drafted. And then we've got Bayley, Asuka, Lacey, who are inactive right now. And then we also have Dakota. It seems like Dakota herself is considering herself as a free agent, so maybe she was supposed to be called up, who knows. So overall, a lot has happened, a huge roster shakeup. If I have to pick, I guess the biggest winner might be Shayna Baszler. I think Shayna Baszler being on SmackDown could be very fresh. I feel like she'll flourish there. And I think her exit from Raw was also pretty strong. Other than that, maybe Xia Li. I mean, none of the call-ups really were that surprising or like that big of a deal, but Xia Li was at least called up on TV, so good for her. I think there were a lot of losers, or at least people that I'm worried about in this draft. I think Bianca Belair, number one, I'm very worried about, because Raw is always that brand. Same for Liv Morgan. She was able to breathe a little bit on SmackDown, even though even there she wasn't able to get that much of a TV time. So on Raw, I am really worried for her. Another big loser, Eva Marie. Maybe she's done. Like, maybe that was it for Eva Marie. Nobody drafted her. And I think women's tag division, just in general, lost in this draft because they really split everyone except for the champion. I mean, at this point, like, why bother? Like, why bother? But that was a draft result. Let's go into last night Raw. We had 3 matches. The first one was Shayna Baszler versus Dana Brooke, and it's so good to see Dana Brooke back on TV. I love that she was fully embracing her position as a new Rosa Mendes, working out with the rope. If you remember Rosa Mendes winning a Slammy for like a best workout or something. This match was for Dana to be squashed. And I actually don't even know why Corey Graves was like coming for Dana's neck so much in this commentary. It was like unnecessarily brutal.
I'm all for giving people time to develop, giving people time to realize their potential. But on a long enough timeline, you gotta cut your losses. Dana Brooke has not accomplished much of anything.
He was saying something like, at this point, they should cut the cost. Like, what the hell, Corey Graves? Shayna Baszler quickly squashed Dana Brooke, and she was about to do the same thing she did for Eva Marie and Nia Jax, but Doudrop skips in with the ghost fingers and like stops Shayna from destroying Dana. And Shayna just like hits Doudrop, and Doudrop's like so unaffected. I kind of love Doudrop. Like, this interaction definitely was really awkward, but I think something's there. I think something's definitely there. Dry Spike for me, this was fun. Next match we saw was a WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley versus Nat Tamina. Watching this match, I did not know this would be the last of Natalya and Tamina. This match itself was just a tag match, like nothing really stands out. Rhea Ripley picks up the win with the Riptide from Tamina, but really an uneventful match. Really sad for Tamina and Natalya. Girl,
Girl,
But what does this even mean for Nikki and Rhea? They're probably gonna feud with Carmella and Zelina, but girl, And lastly, we got the whole situation with Becky, Charlotte, and EST, Bianca Belair. We saw Becky Lynch open the whole Raw. She like basically drafted herself to Raw, which the commentary is like, it's not how that works, but they did draft her, so I guess she is the man. And then Charlotte Flair came out and had a little back and forth with Becky Lynch, and as much as I love their back and forth, and some of the zingers were good, but we're so over Becky versus Charlotte. I'm so happy that they're far away from each other, because nobody wants to see it again for the next like 5 years. Then Bianca Belair came out with so much pop, and Charlotte Flair said something like, I give out opportunities but I don't do charity, and I love Bianca's reaction when she's like, I can give you something else, girl. Like, it was so good. I love Bianca Belair. She's such a good face without losing the edge. And then Sonya Deville came out, booked their match for the main event of Raw, saying that this is the first time that they faced each other, which is a lie. They did have a singles match on NXT, which I forgot about. And I wanted to forget about it, because that match was not it. Charlotte Flair did Bianca so dirty in that match, and I think, if I'm correct, maybe Bianca got injured from that match, or like they thought she got injured or something. That match was really wonky. So let's just pretend like this is the first time it's happening, because this match was actually really, really fun. Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair had really good chemistry, and you can see from both of their eyes that they're actually really enjoying it. And they were exchanging flips, like that was really, really fun. Pace was amazing, the intensity was there. I really want to see a full feud between two of them, as long as Bianca can win that. This was a really entertaining match, and really good taste of what to come later. I guess the only nitpicking thing I have in this match is that Charlotte was also trying to show her power over Bianca Belair. Like, I know this whole match is about, I know you can do this, but I can also do this type of a storytelling match. I get that, but the strength is Bianca's thing, Charlotte. Don't try to come for that. Like, don't try to come for her gig. I did not care for that part. But this match was absolutely entertaining. Becky Lynch was on this commentary again, and she was basically doing the same thing what she did on SmackDown, whining about the whole Saudi Arabia show. But this match, Bianca hit KOD on Charlotte Flair, about to pick up the win, but Becky Lynch interferes, ending this match in DQ. And as Becky Lynch is attacking Bianca Belair, who comes to attack both of them is Sasha Banks, the boss, leading up to Saudi Arabia show. Crown Jewel is happening on 21st, so there's still some time to build up for that. But I really like that the build up for the women's match was a main event for both SmackDown and Raw. We're building strong, so they better not have any restrictions at Saudi Arabia. Maybe the dress thing, maybe. But I hope they slay everyone with their athleticism on Saudi Arabia. I really hope for that, because the build-up so far has been great, and these three women, they can't go wrong. They really can't go wrong. And also, shout out to that one person that was holding Victoria for Hall of Fame sign. Oh my god, you are amazing, because Victoria definitely needs to go into Hall of Fame. Alright, let's start with NXT, and we started with a no disqualification match between B-Fab and Elektra Lopez, and what a match. What a match from these two rookies to NXT. Like, they just had their first matches in the last couple of NXTs. Now they're having a freaking no disqualification match. This is a big deal, and I think it really represents the whole vibe of NXT 2.0. So on this episode, B-Fab on the Hit Row was cutting like the whole promo at first, and then Elektra Lopez, when her team came out, she's still wearing the Undertaker hat and the coat. I would rather she lose it. And then they proceeded to this match, which definitely brought a lot of Diva era vibe. Both are green. I know that Elektra Lopez Lopez was an indie wrestler before this. I kind of liked it. This match was really raw, especially at the end, the crossbody into the chair. It was great, and this match ended with Elektra Lopez picking up the win after hitting a Blue Thunder bomb. Super Stratified. I wonder if they wrapped up their feud really quick like this because, as you know, Hit Row is now on SmackDown. BFAB definitely has an it factor. Just let her play with Natalya for a little bit. She'll get that experience soon, and maybe she'll be the next it girl. We also saw some vignettes from Index Honeymoon. They're having some fun at the beach. Dexter Lumis looking frickin' gorgeous. And the whole storyline was basically that Johnny was very protective of indies, so he like wore the shark thing to scare them, and then like took away their condoms so that they don't have sex. I don't know. I'll say meh. The thing I love about Index was that it was so unpredictable and campy, but this was more in a predictable, been there, done that area, so they can do better next time. Now, the next part was the whole Toxic Attraction domination situation. First, we saw NXT Women's Tag Team Championship, Io and Zoe going against Toxic Attraction's JC Jane and Gigi Dolin. This match was good as always for Io and Zoe. JC Jane and Gigi Dolin were very good, but I'm still at the nice to meet you state. I'm trying to still get to know them, so this match did some of that, so I'll say stratified. But it's obvious that the whole focus is on Mandy Rose. And I have to mention, when she interrupted Raquel Gonzalez during her interview, her delivery to Raquel.
But it'll look a lot better on me.
So Mandy's looking great. It seems like she found a new fire. Let's see where this goes. For the main event, we got Frankie Monet versus Raquel Gonzalez. And as you remember, this match was scheduled a couple weeks ago, but I guess it was rescheduled to give Frankie Monet, formerly known as Taya Valkyrie, like a bigger stage. And this should take advantage of that? I will say, not really. This match, surprisingly, for how great Raquel Gonzalez is, for how experienced Frankie Monet was, they just did not click together. Raquel was playing a completely face role, which didn't really work. You know the whole WWE style. The heel is controlling most of the match, and then the face kind of explodes and get rid of that constipated feeling. It never had that good explosion that I had a really good poop moment, so I was left mostly unsatisfied. Frankie Monet, she has a great resume, she had great matches and impact, but here with Raquel, something did not click, and she wasn't really able to show like half of what she could do. So I'm very disappointed on that. So for me, this would be, I'm Confucius. I wonder what happened. I am worried for Frankie because her first big match was kind of a disappointment, and after this match was done, Toxic Attraction came out and like took her out basically. I don't know what's going on with Robert Stone Brand, just something's just not working. I thought Frankie Monet could be like Robert Stone Brand's like breakout moment, but after this match, Toxic Attraction came out, attacked Raquel Gonzalez, Gigi Dolin was bleeding for some reason. Toxic Attraction is infiltrating in all of NXT Women's Division. My question is, are you buying it? For me, not fully yet. It's not like Mandy Rose was like the biggest player on main roster. If like Natalya, or maybe even like Tamina came down to do that, okay, I see that. But for now, I need a little bit of more convincing to do. Overall, stratified. Moving to AEW Dynamite, the longest reigning AEW champion of all, I guess. Hikaru Shida had a promo. I guess she's having the short hair diva curse, but she's having a big match with returning Serena Deeb, so that's gonna be a big match. We did have a match on Dynamite. It is a tag match between Team TJ versus Penelope Ford and the Bunny. So obviously this was a combination of the feud between the two teams that happened even before All Out. Both teams looked great with the unified gear situation, and this was more meaningful because it was at Brody Lee's hometown, so at the end, celebration was really meaningful. The match itself was more of a regular tag match with some good back and forth action, and you know I love Tay, she's such a freaking star. The facial expressions when she walks out of the ring, she's telling all the story of this feud with her face, and her moves are really explosive. I'm kind of surprised that she wasn't in the match as much as I hoped, and I think they're trying to have the spotlight on Anna Jay. So, good match, stratified. I'm curious to see what Team Tay J is going to do next. There is a rumor that AEW might introduce a new title, secondary title to Women's Division. It's going to be another good news to Team Tay J because they deserve something. They deserve storylines. On Impact Zone, we saw a tag match between the Influence and a team of Jordynne Grace and Rachel Ellering. I know I've been mispronouncing Rachel's name for like weeks now. Was I saying Rachel Ellering? So this match was booked last week because Gail Kim was trying to book Knockouts tag team match for the Knockouts Knockdown, so this was a #1 contendership match. This match was fine. Meh. Madison and Tenille pick up the win from Rachel, and then they debuted this like really cute tag finisher, which was really cute because they were like kissy, but the move itself was kind of boring. I need something more from Tenille. And I know that's supposed to be Caleb with the K, but there was some weird spot with Caleb with the K with Jordynne Grace. I don't even know what happened outside. Madison, she's like the Impact legend that came back to help Tenille. I think they have great chemistry character-wise. I need that dance back or something. But Oh, this is so good. So next segment we saw was Deonna Purrazzo. She drove all the way to Mickie James's ranch and they started just brawling. Oh my god. At one point, Deonna was like, Mickie, I'm gonna kill you, and she had a pitchfork. This brawl was so good. And yes, I did want Mickie James to ride a horse and like charge at Deonna, but this was so great. This was so great. The fight was so good. It was so intense. It was a whole one take scene. And at the end, Deonna tried to kill Mickie by drowning her. All the way to this point, it's already legendary. And this better main event Bound for Glory, because I'm so ready for this. 100% satisfied. And also, before we move on from Impact Zone, this Saturday is a Knockouts Knockdown pay-per-view. Actually, turns out I was only there for like half the tapings, so there's another half that I didn't see. What I've seen was very good. There were some tears, there were some gags, there were some hardcore matches, so it's gonna be a very good show. And I think there's a really cool watch party that Chris Riddle is putting together with some of the Knockouts and Gail Kim, so that's gonna be really fun. So I'll share that information in the comment section when I have more information on that. Now, let's move to AEW Rampage, and we had this blockbuster match, triple threat, Jade Cargill versus Nyla Rose versus Thunder Rosa, three of AEW's biggest female stars out of Britt Baker and Ruby Soho, obviously. And this match was freaking iconic from the start when Jade Cargill was giving like middle finger to this guy that was holding up like a bathroom break or beer break or whatever. That photo is so iconic. And this match, it just clicked to me why people love AEW. Yes, AEW doesn't necessarily concentrate on the weekly character building or storyline building, but they give you this like blockbuster matches week after week. They're not very stingy on giving big matchups, so that's something very exhilarating about AEW's booking style. This match, I did not know what's gonna happen. Obviously, Jade Cargill is the one that's coming here with all the winning streak, so will that end with this match? Like, that is very likely with Nyla and Thunder Rosa being there. No, the streak did not end because Jade Cargill picked up the win. This match was so good until like the last 2 minutes of this match. Triple threat are like no disqualification, and they went at it. They brought in the trash can, they brought in the table, and these hardcore spots were so cool. Thunder Rosa, Nyla Rose killing it. What the hell happened? I'm Confucius. Like, what? This ending was so weak. If you're gonna do a chair shot ending, freaking give me a stiff chair shot. But this shows some dedication to push Jade Cargill to the top, so I'm excited to see if she's gonna go against Britt Baker. Or will she come for that mystery second title that's gonna be announced? I don't know, I'm very curious. This was a bit of a shocker, and I did enjoy the match. Maybe I'll say satisfied. Maybe I did like it, but just the finisher part was kind of Confucius. And then to end with SmackDown, the first night of draft, we saw 2 matches on this show. Actually, that was not a match with Carmella, but Carmella debuted her new look when Liv Morgan was trying to hit her face. I'm done with this bullshit, you trying to ruin my beautiful face, my beautiful face. And then she debuted this like her lucha look. She brought this RuPaul Pandemic finale mask look. I was kind of confused about this whole thing, but I'm kind of like loving it. Like, she is definitely evolving her like most beautiful women character to the next level, which I love. But it is kind of strange that she's doing a lot of similar things that Mandy Rose is doing. Am I the only one that's seeing it? Probably not. Will we see this on Total Divas? Probably not either. But I would like to. So I tweeted out what was your thought on Carmella's mask, and this person said it made her look the stupidest bitch. The stupidest bitch in all WWE. I'm satisfied. She's like evolving her gimmick. It's so stupid, but I love it. And in the main event, we saw a match between Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. Another slaying outfit. This match was really fun. It wasn't as much of a perfection like WrestleMania. There were like couple spots that like slipped here and there, but overall their chemistry is there. They tell such a great story. Who, by the way, looked so fierce with the fur coat. But am I the only one that thought Michael Cole was like low-key dragging Becky Lynch? Becky had better comebacks before. Maybe she's really committing to her new gimmick of being a lame heel who doesn't want to defend her title and like doesn't have good comebacks. Maybe, and she's very whiny. Maybe it's a whole gimmick work. But at the end, we saw, shockingly, Sasha Banks pick up the win with the help of Becky Lynch. That spot of her just pulling the hair was actually like, I really liked that spot. That was really fun. And then Charlotte Flair with the Candice Michelle's TED Talk outfit came out. BAM! And big-booted both Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, telling everyone on SmackDown, Charlotte Flair is here, and none of you bitches are safe, because I'm gonna bury each and every single one of you, because that's what she does. Yeah, maybe it's a good thing that Bianca's escaping from Charlotte, but it's also Raw. Nobody's safe on Raw. But overall, this main event, I was satisfied. Alright, thank you so much for watching this week's review. You can find me at DSShin on Instagram and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter. I'll see you next week. Bye!